Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. According to analysis over the past 10 months, Russian losses in the war with Ukraine have been growing faster than at any time since the start of the invasion in 2022. As peace efforts intensified under pressure from US President Donald Trump's administration, 40% more obituaries of soldiers were published in Russian sources compared with the previous year. Overall, the confirmed names of almost 160,000 people killed fighting on Russia's side in Ukraine have been verified. The real death toll is believed to be much higher, and military experts say analysis of cemeteries, war memorials and obituaries might represent 45 to 65% of the total. That would put the number of Russian deaths at between 243,000 and 352,000 men. Donald Trump says he hopes to reach phase 2 of Gaza's peace plan very quickly, as he warned Hamas would have hell to pay if it did not disarm soon. The US president, whose 20-point peace plan requires the militant group to disarm, made the comments as he met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Florida for talks on Monday. During a press conference with Netanyahu after their meeting, Trump said Israel had lived up to the plan 100%, despite continuing attacks by its military in Gaza.
If they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then there'll be hell to pay for them. And we don't want that. We're not looking for that. But they have to disarm within a fairly short period of time.
Eurostar has cancelled all trains out of London towards Paris, Amsterdam and Brussels until further notice, after a power outage in the Channel Tunnel caused a Le Shuttle train to fail. Staff at London's St Pancras station have told Eurostar passengers to postpone their travel plans and rebook for a later date. By midday, at least a dozen Eurostar services between the UK, France, Belgium and the Netherlands had been cancelled, with many more delayed or altered. Elsewhere, Eurostar service Le Shuttle has also suspended trains between Folkestone and Calais due to what it described as a power supply issue, which occurred overnight. The United States has pledged $2 billion to fund United Nations humanitarian programs, but has warned the UN it must adapt or die. The announcement was made in Geneva by the UN's Emergency Relief Chief Tom Fletcher and Jeremy Lewin, President Trump's Undersecretary for Foreign Assistance. It comes amid huge cuts in US funding for humanitarian operations and further cuts expected from other donors such as the UK and Germany.
It is an initial anchor commitment tied to these 17 countries. This $2 billion is, we hope, not the end, but only the beginning of what's a partnership.
$2 billion goes a huge way to saving millions of lives, and it anchors this plan for 2026, where we are seeking to reach 87 million people with life-saving support. Now, of course, this won't fund all of that. We're looking to raise $23 billion for that entire plan, and our work now is to go out and take that case to other donors.
More than 350 suspected Islamic State group members have been detained as part of a nationwide police operation in Turkey. The Interior Minister said 357 suspects were apprehended across 21 provinces in coordinated raids on Tuesday morning. It comes just a day after 3 police officers and 6 alleged militants were killed during an 8-hour siege in the northwest town of Yalova. Another 8 police officers and a security force member were injured. Khaleda Zia, Bangladesh's first female prime minister and an arch-rival of the ousted leader Sheikh Hasina, has died from a prolonged illness. She was 80 years old. Zia intended to run for parliament in February, when the country will vote for the first time since a popular revolution in late 2024 unseated Hasina. Thrust into the political limelight following the assassination of her husband, then President Zia Rahman, she went on to become Bangladesh's first female prime minister in 1991. And huge plumes of ash and smoke have been filmed erupting from Mount Etna in Sicily as skiers use the slopes below. Scientists said volcanic activity at the site, which frequently erupts, has intensified, with craters continuously emitting ash. In response, scientists issued a red volcano observatory notice for aviation, its highest level, though authorities said flights would continue to operate normally at a nearby airport unless ashfall increased. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.